or Y Trucks is like one of two companies producing, performance fingerboard trucks. The other being Black River. These are a little cheaper than the trucks offered by Black River, and these I have not tried Black River's trucks, so this is like an unbiased review. I don't really care who makes it. So yeah, these trucks came from Portugal in 9 days, which is a little bit slower than my Yellowwood. So I don't know if it's coming from a different part of Portugal or because it was around the holidays. But yeah, 9 days was the time. They come in a bubble mailer, obviously. They come with 5 stickers that look like this. Oh. And then they come with the trucks, tuned with the Y Trucks bushings, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then extra tuning. This is all, that's all my Y Trucks extra tuning in there that came with it. So give you a lot of extra, just in case. And then it also comes with an Allen key and the tool for the truck's kingpins. So with this batch of trucks, one new thing is about them that they come with screws that are Allen head, and that's why they include this. You don't have to use those. It also comes with regular screws, just like ones that would be provided by like Tech Deck. Originally, just because it was different, I was going to use the Allen head screws, but honestly, they are such a pain to put on with this tool that it's really just not worth it. They're the same thing. They just have like a different head for like a different, perhaps more realistic look and feel. So I ended up going with just the regular screws, but it is cool that they all offer the alternative and then provide you a tool to put them on. And I saved them just in case I ever lose one of these screws. The trucks went on extremely well once I used these screws just because it was so much easier. They sit flush on the board. Kingpins, they don't stick out, so your deck will not need kingpin holes. Although most decks just provide them because companies aren't going to assume that you're going to have Y Trucks or Black River trucks or something. Yeah, but they mount flush to the board. Really nice. And then, so after you get it on, the wheels go on really well. And so far the nuts have stayed on tight. And the wheels haven't spun off. And, with Black River trucks and Y Trucks, people have, said that the wheels are prone to come off. But they haven't been. I guess the lock nut system's been working really good. The trucks are probably 28 or 29 millimeters wide once you put your wheels on, and that's pretty good for most size decks. So the bushing system on these trucks, they may look like O-rings, like that you'd get from FBS or with a Packer Rip, but they're not. They're made of material called Viton, and it's similar in look and size to like a standard O-ring, but it's got a little bit of a denser and more sturdy composition. It's almost like a cross between O-rings and like the flat-faced Teflon bushings. And it's really nice so that if you tighten it down, they're not going to like tear like O-rings will. And they'll also keep your truck straight when you tighten them. But if you keep them loose, they'll keep your trucks from getting offline. And overall, they're really nice. I would love to just buy 30 sets of these bushings and put them on all my decks, even if I didn't have Y trucks. I don't know. I never used any bushings better than these. So the kingpin, as you can see, is special in that you have to use a special tool to, get to it, or tighten or loosen it. It tightens really well. The tool works good. with the truck. If you want to tighten or loosen it, whatever you want to do. I'm riding these trucks tight because I just like tight trucks. But if you wanted to ride them loose, which I did for like a day or so just to try it out, they worked extremely well. The way the pivot system is, I'm pretty sure it's Teflon. You can see the pivot cup down in there. It's something that they comes pre-installed, and what it does is if you're riding your trucks loose, it makes sure that if you're like pivoting with the board, that afterwards the trucks will like snap back into place and be upright. So your board, if you were to let go of it, it would just roll straight. You can see, like, if I bend the truck here, and I'll do this one, it comes back. And that's really good, especially for people that like loose trucks, but don't like riding like a board that's sideways like that, because after you let go, the board comes back up. And it also gave me a little bit more of a liking for riding loose trucks, and I'm not sure what I'm going to keep. However, if you like riding your trucks tight, I don't see the necessity to buy these, just because tight trucks are tight trucks and it doesn't really matter. Unless you were in it for like the weight aspect, because these are extremely light. When I actually set them up on my Preet, I didn't really like them, so I took them off and just put Tech Deck Wides on again, because the weight difference is like extremely noticeable, like when you're popping your tricks. So what I decided to do is put them on my 4-ply Homewood. So now this is like a super light setup, and I actually really like it. For some reason, I just wanted to keep my Preet heavy. I like the feel that way, but it adds doesn't necessarily add pop, but it makes what pop you have go a lot farther, because the deck is so light now, or the setup is. The hangers are a little thinner than Tech Deck hangers, in that the metal will not be scraping on the back of your wheel. As you can see, like, it goes right into the bearing and doesn't mess with this wheel material. And the wheel spins really well. A lot of people were saying that after Black River, like, they had that taper thing on the end of their trucks, and they're like, well, why didn't Yellowwood do, or why trucks do that? Well, it's actually just the whole hanger's thinner, and that's also partially a reason for the lightweight. They come in 3 different varieties: a silver, matte, and X1. So the silver ones are solid silver, or not silver, but in color. The mattes have black base plates in this varnished hanger, and then the Uniteds have black base plates and then hangers that look like the silver ones. They're just like raw metal, and those are pretty cool looking too. They're all the same truck, as far as performance would go. They just look a little different. With the mattes, you have bushing options as far as choosing colors for your bushings. I chose white because I originally thought they would look better on my Preet, because I thought that's what I was going to be using these with. But as it turns out, I wish I would have chosen like yellow or something. But there's like 10 different bushing colors, and so you can kind of choose it to match your setup. The most important aspect of these to me is the pivot system and the weight, just because they're the ones that affect the performance the most. Not to mention, these are like really good looking trucks. I'm like afraid to use them on a rail, just because I don't want them to get scratched up, but they slide like insanely well. Compared to Tech Deck trucks, they're a lot smoother on rails, but I'm just worried about the looks. But yeah, these are just really sick trucks. I think they cost 36 euros shipped to America. I think shipping's the same for everybody though.